first volume of Stories from the Past, I'll be talking to some local residents from Rockcastle County. During these episodes, I want to document what it was like living during these times and areas by getting first-hand accounts. Hopefully we can paint a good picture of the area and the times. This first edition is important to me because it helps document stories from my family and my roots. We begin with my maternal grandmother, Charlene Gentry. For some context, my grandma has lived in Rockcastle County for most of her life. She has 3 sisters and 1 brother. She refers to her grandmas as Gamma, and sometimes that may be confusing. There's Gamma McKinney and Gamma Albright, but sometimes she just says Gamma. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy these stories from the past.
Ball games and the movies and the skating rink.
All in Broadhead?
Yeah.
It's a pretty happening place. Had the train. I mean, the trains are still coming through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Let's see. Jen Lee Hansel told me she remembered the first movie she went to in Broadhead, and Patsy worked there, sold popcorn for 50 cents. We saw a lot of Roy Rogers and Gene Autry Western movies.
He said, who all became teachers? I guess that were
all of Mother's brothers and sisters
became teachers.
But then Uncle Guy went on and he was a dentist. He went into the Navy, and I don't figure you had to go that long.
Yeah, what, to be a teacher or to be? No, probably not.
But now Uncle John, he was the principal at Eubank, and I'd say, I remember Aunt Lucille went back to school later, you know.
Yeah.
But now Aunt Mill taught in Campbell County. But Aunt Marge, she taught some here, and then they had a shoe store at Lancaster. And then they had one in Lexington, and it was the same name that Jeremy had his at Mount Vernon.
That's interesting, because on Papa Paul's side, there's teachers on that side too. So you never went to a one-room school? You were the big city school?
Yeah. Paul said he went to Broadhead and got me. But anyway, I had a picture, I believe it's with Paul and Jeremy. Somebody's got it, of the school up here. And I said, well, they were lucky that they lived close.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's...
And I know Richard Gentry taught, and he put the whole school back a year. Oh, that made Paul's mom mad. He was too lazy. And I thought, well, and then Nana Lou Burton said she had him at Ottawa.
Yeah.
She says that was the nearest nothing. Said he didn't give you even a report card.
Yeah.
But the Gentrys were slow. And I told Paul, I said, I'm glad that characteristic passed my girls up. Because we always went at it like fighting fire.
Yeah.
And that's gone, Papa.
How long did they live till? When did they...
How long did they live?
Yeah.
I think Gumma was about 86 and Papa was maybe 81 or something.
So they got married in 1906.
She was 15.
Wow. That's young.
Yes. But that Paul Blevins, you know, remember Paul? Okay. His daddy was 28 and his mother was 14.
Oh, man.
And I thought, well, why would... I can't understand somebody letting their children get married that young.
Yeah. God, yeah. Born on May 20th, 1889.
He was older, but I don't know how much.
That was him. Arch...
Cleveland. Arch Cleveland.
Yeah, it just says Arch Albright.
Okay.
I don't think it... So that would have made him... How old was he?
He's about 88. He was...
No, when he got married.
I don't know.
11 plus 17? Is that right?
Grandma was 15.
I don't know. He might have...
But I don't know. He was older, but he wasn't...
Wasn't that old?
No.
No.
I mean, well, it might have been 3 or 4 years, but...
Okay. Yeah, because that's his birth certificate. I guess. Well, I don't know. It says a registration card. They had 8 kids?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What's interesting about Broadhead is it wasn't really a town until the railroad came in.
Probably not.
It was basically... There's people that lived close in that vicinity, but not until the railroad came in did they start, a central place, I guess.
I know Rodney Purcell, he wanted
One of these,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Which is he your first cousin, or?
my first cousin.
Yeah.
You know where Ned lives, do you?
No.
Oh, well, it's on the, let's see, what was it we call that? You know where the factory is on that road.
Mm-hmm. So school was a bit different. You had a lot of your aunts and uncles as your teachers.
Yeah. Joyce Mink and I, we were the best of friends. And Patsy had given me this Valentine. Charles gave her a box of candy, and she
Mm-hmm.
gave me the box.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so thrilled. I took it to school, and Geraldine wrote on it, this boy's name plus mine, and I pitched it in the wastebasket.
Now, which was this school? Was the school building that was originally built, or what school building was it? Was it the one they tore
I've got
down?
a big picture.
I mean, was it the one that they tore down?
Yeah.
So you got it when it was a lot better
Well,
situation or
they joined
condition.
the two buildings. There was two different, and they joined them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what year
What
they
were the-
tore them down.
Why did they have two? Was one
Grade
high school?
and high school.
Oh, okay. Then they built it on to join them.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, so when I was going to that school,
Is it like it is now?
no.
the
I
old-
went to the old one.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean it was
Yeah.
about. I mean, I'd guess it had to be about 60 years old then, at least. And then they went on. They still use it for about 10 more years, I think.
Well, and when they joined them, they added the gym.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you went there the whole time. You didn't go to. Rock Castle County didn't exist as a high school, so you went till 12th grade, or what was that?
Who?
You at
I
school
went
at
through
Broadhead.
12 years at
Yeah.
Broadhead.
Yeah.
We all did, my whole family.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul went 4 years to the high school.
Mm-hmm. So by then they were transporting. They had
Yeah.
buses.
Yeah. And see all the ones over in Conway and Scaff King went to Broadhead.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they consolidated and long, had a long way to go.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like from Red Hill to Mount Vernon is a long way. They
Yeah.
need a school at Livingston,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so those kids don't have to go so far.
Yeah.
What, did you learn anything?
Yeah. Quite a bit, I guess.
I remember this Floyd Rao. You didn't know Floyd Rao, but his daughter went to Broadhead, and they're not learning her a thing.
Which I mean, I guess kids could drop out of school anytime, couldn't they? Or
Yeah, and all the Lawrences. Okay, Teddy Lawrence came and got some masks, and I talked to him. I always thought he was quiet,
mm-hmm.
but we talked, and I said, why did none of the Lawrences go to school?
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, I guess they worked on the farm. That's what.
Mm-hmm.
And but Jackie and Charles,
Mm-hmm.
Richard, and who's the other? Well, none of them went to high school.
Mm. Did they go to just Ottawa school there, and then they didn't go on to high school, or they didn't go at all?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm.
But I know Lois and Doris, they graduated, from
Mhm.
Broadhead.
Yeah.
And, Mama Geneva, she wanted to go to high school, but, then, and she went to the 8th grade 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Everybody went to their OneRoom School until 12th grade, until they merged the schools at Broadhead.
Yeah,
Okay.
really.
That's different, I guess.
Yeah.
Was it a big thing when they merged the schools, or I guess they had to provide transportation?
Oh, yeah.
That was the big thing.
And Jean Gentry, Jean, Gary.
Yeah.
Well, she said that Uncle Cecil taught at Ottawa, I think, said he'd pick them up and take them to school.
Mm-hmm.
And I wondered how Jean, of course she lives in Broadhead now, but they lived on 70, how they got to Broadhead.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah. So did you always have a car? You and your family. Do you remember what kind of car it was?
I took my license in 52 Chevy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, straight Chevy. And then we had another green, I think in that old Broadhead.
So this
Old
Broadheads.
They'd show you the...
Huh?
Yeah.
Population 800. So
Yeah, and I know Kevin made a sign for Broadhead population. I mean, this maybe hadn't been that long ago when Walter Lee Cash, his wife called, said the sign was 4 inches too high. Oh, that made Patsy some mad, and then they called back and said it was okay. See, now there's where Mother graduated.
Right here. So that, I mean, it's not a one-room school, but
there's the old school, isn't it?
yeah, this
high school, the high school.
So 1907, then 1930 they had this one. I mean, that looks like a pretty nice high school.
Well, it wasn't bad. I mean,
yeah, I mean it's a fairly large, I would think, for the time. Do you know when this population sign was?
how many was there?
It says 800.
Well, when I thought it was just 700, but
So it's barbershop here.
that was Mr. Tony Laswell. Okay, and his grandson, the Hopkins, and his wife taught school or teaches. Water Tank Hill. That's old grandstand at Broadhead Fairground.
Well, did you remember the old fair?
Oh yes. Diane Masterson and I.
What's different between it now and then? I mean,
I don't know, hadn't been in a long time.
So, I mean, was it still? I mean, they traveling people. I mean, I don't know.
You mean for the fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had someone, you know.
Yeah. Were they gypsies or were they?
No.
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 They have animals or anything like that? No.
Well, they would have like the, I don't know that it was the 4-H or, you know.
Regular animals. They would have nothing exotic. I think the Broadhead
no
Fair.
cattle and.
Yeah. I think it started coming like the late 1800s. I mean.
Well, I was afraid they wouldn't have fair this time.
Yeah.
But, you know, Broadhead needs the income. And Walter Lee Cash, he's the mayor at Broadhead. And he was, they need some young blood.
Yeah.
But he was in my room, but he didn't graduate. Well, his wife didn't either. But he's a few years older than I am. He told me he stayed in Miss Elizabeth's room 2 years because he liked her so well. See, now there's Main Street.
Yeah. So this is Main Street, 1941. And that's the opposite ends.
What is that one at the bottom?
It says 1941.
Okay, but what is the picture at the bottom there?
It's just the cars and the main.
Oh,
Main
okay.
Street. It's the opposite side of Main Street. What's this log cabin camp?
Okay, there where that restaurant is at Broadhead. You know, that's where it was. You know, a motel.
Oh, okay, so it's just like a motel with a bunch of little cabins.
Yeah.
Broadhead Depot. Is that where?
The depot? Yeah.
Now is where they built that park thing?
Yeah.
Is that exactly where it was?
And I know Mother was going down the hill there by the bank, and I don't know why, but the brakes went, and she ran into that building.
How long has Citizens been there?
Okay, I think that's the building where the restaurant is now.
It looks a lot like it. Dairy Delight? You talking about Dairy Delight?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks a lot like it.
I think it's closed right now.
Broadhead basketball schedule. Greendale. What year is this? Greendale, Buckeye, Highland, Houstonville, Middleburg. Is Middleburg? Is that Is that Lincoln, Middleburg? Yeah. McKee, Livingston, Paint Lick, Greendale, Crab Orchard, Buckeye, Hazel Green, Mount Vernon, Jenkins. Jenkins? As in Eastern Kentucky Jenkins? Yep. Wow. Waynesburg, Paint Lick, Crab Orchard, Hazel Green, McKee, Mount Vernon, Livingston, Houstonville, Highland. Wow. Looks like they did pretty good. Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 losses.
Okay, the year Gatliff Craig played, they won the district. And I think it's so funny, there was a picture of Gatliff. You know, they wore the real short.
Yeah.
And Guy McKinney, Patsy was a cheerleader, and they wore their skirts
All the way.
And she went to see Patsy and says, well, bless their little hind ends. And I thought, well, what would she say now?
Yeah.
Now, see that top picture?
Mm-hmm.
What's it say?
Masonic Hall.
Okay.
Masonic Hall, First Baptist
it was
Church.
there. I don't remember it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like behind the Baptist church there.
Mm-hmm. Where the Broadhead Baptist is
Mm-hmm.
now. Broadhead Christian Church. Where'd y'all go to church at?
The Baptist.
Okay. Broadhead Baptist?
Mm-hmm. And I said that is you, Bank. First time I went Paul to church, all he did was preach against the Baptist. You know, that's the way they used to do.
Yeah.
And I told, Mary Lee Craig and her children came and we made a basket. And I told her, I said, I wouldn't cross the street to listen to Thaddeus Eubank. And she told Chris that, and Chris mentioned it to me, and he says, but I wouldn't either.
Earl Mullins, 5 and 10 store?
Yeah. And Patsy, they lived in Ohio, and when they would come in, they'd take their dollar down there and buy
Spend
stuff.
it.
And that's where we lived upstairs there.
Bob's Fountain
No, we didn't. That one. That's Uncle Bob's restaurant.
Okay. There's the fire department.
That's where we loafed,
Not
like
very
after
low.
the ball games.
Go to the fire department, huh?
Finley has one of those pictures hanging in his office.
Of the fire department? Or?
That was up there. You know, the park there, not the one in town.
Yeah.
In front of where Dorothy lives.
Okay. Oh, you all would hang out, though, at the grocery store?
Yeah. And that's where we lived upstairs.
Where'd that door go to?
It burnt.
No, I said, is that a door right there?
Yeah, but no steps.
No steps? Huh.
And there was a grocery store downstairs.
Mm-hmm. All of y'all, did you have your own rooms or share rooms?
Bertie and I had one together, and Patsy and Bertie and Patsy and Retta, yeah. I know Marion sent me a bunch of stuff. I haven't even looked through it. It was just old.
The Gray Theater?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. We went there a lot.
Watch a lot of good movies. Hercules Unchained, Oregon Passage, Pillow Talk.
Is that with the Gray Theater?
Yeah, the theater you love to visit. Yeah, I guess these are the movies. Yeah, it says Saturday, January 14th. The Last Voyage, At Gunpoint. Operation Petticoat. Tarzan the Magnificent.
Yeah. Tarzan and Jane.
Can't really. World and the Innocent or something. Wild and the Innocent, maybe. FBL story. So, I don't think I've seen any of those movies.
I don't remember.
So, did Papa Paul hang out at the grocery store afterwards?
No, he's a country boy.
Did he play basketball or anything? Or?
Well, he started and then he didn't.
Yeah.
And he was tall. He could.
Mm-hmm. Schaefer Building.
Okay, across the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
On the left, they had a store there.
Mm-hmm. So did everybody in town basically own a store?
Yeah, okay, and that one family, okay, Mr. D.A. Robbins, his wife, Miss Vivian, taught school. Okay, and her sister, Miss Worth, taught school, but they had a store.
Mm-hmm.
And then Miss Nina Riddle, she was a sister, had a store. Hazel Elder had a store. And Lena Yaden had a store. They all had a store there in Broadhead except Miss Vivian and Mr. Robbins. They were in the school. And Alma Jean told me that Preston Sailor whipped Mike and left places on him.
Mm-hmm.
He was mean.
Was he a teacher or was he,
He was a teacher, but then he was principal at Mount Vernon at the high school.
Yeah. Wanted a factory by our little city. To show you we are interested, we will give in return free city taxes, free site, and 100% cooperation by all the citizens. We have plenty of cheap help. We are 120 miles south of Louisville on the L&N and Concrete Highway, US number 150. We have KU electric, current, and city water furnished by springs 200 feet above town, which is a 100% gravity system, making a very cheap water supply. If interested, get in touch with the Broadhead Chamber of Commerce. 1929.
But there, when I worked at the Bittersweet Cabins,
Mm-hmm.
this couple came in and they told me they were from Ohio. I'd ask people, where are you from? Well, Ohio. And they went in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then they came back and stood there at the counter, and they said, the lady says, it takes 5 hours to get to Lebanon, Ohio. Doesn't take that long. I said, well, it depends on who's driving. If Marianne's driving, it takes about half that time. But it doesn't take that long. And anyway, I said, well, I have a sister in Lebanon. They said, are you Brianne's sister? And I said, yeah. And, okay, their daughter married Brianne's son.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady says, well, you look like her and you talk like her. And I thought, well, it might have been mentioned at some time that I worked at Renfro Valley. And
Yeah.
maybe the reason they recognized me.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to the wedding, but I didn't remember them. That'd been several years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. No.
But they haven't opened it this time. I don't know if they will or not.
Yeah. Now, Bertie Ann and Retta both moved to Ohio.
Yeah.
Right out of high school, or?
Mm-hmm. Got jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Retta worked for the FBI. I worked for the FBI for a
Mhm.
while. I hated it. I hated Ohio.
Yeah.
And then I worked at Crosley.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like to just sit and type all day. I like numbers and
Mm-hmm. Thinking.
yeah. And then I worked at the county extension office
Mm-hmm.
in production credit. That's when Roy Brown was there. That building is where the citizens, the insurance,
Yeah. That's what. Oh.
and then I worked at the factory at Broadhead a while, and then Kenneth Stewart asked me,
Mm-hmm.
and I really liked that. It was numbers. I like
Mhm.
numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Now Jennifer likes numbers. Marion likes reading.
Yeah. But Bertie Ann and them, they get married right out of high school, or?
I think she was out of school a year.
Yeah, and then they went to Ohio.
Well, they were already in
Oh, they
Ohio.
were, yeah. Oh, so were their husbands from Ohio or from?
No.
No.
Pete was from Marysburg.
Oh, okay.
And I know Bertie Ann was such a good student, and Pete didn't go to school much.
Yeah.
And then, like L.E., he didn't go to school. And it was ain't and heard. I broke Paul from saying heard. He was going to sing a song at church, I've heard of a land of joy and peace. And I said, you're not going to sing that song. And he'd I heard. He finally got it right. And one time he's helping Jennifer with her reading, and she came to her, and
Yeah.
he says, what's H-E-A-R spell? And she says, here. And he says, put a D on it. And I said, no. But I broke him
Yeah.
from saying that. But Marion Jeffrey, Marion said ain't a little bit when she was young, but the
Mhm.
gentry said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I said, that took care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But in Paul's mom, Mama Geneva,
Mm-hmm.
and Geraldine Cash at school, I ain't a carrying. And she was smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't understand why she didn't teach Everett to read.
Yeah.
And how'd he drive a school bus if he couldn't read?
Yeah. I
And
don't
somebody
know.
said that, like if they went to Florida, she'd read the signs.
Oh yeah.
No water in the house and no outside toilet. And she has water to the back porch, I think.
Mhm.
And Danny McKibben told him he'd run it on in the house. And
We've all used that outhouse, I guess. Or at least I have. More than I wanted.
do what?
I've used that outhouse more than I
Oh,
wanted.
well, I know I asked, it was Chaz, I said, you know what an outhouse is? Yes, Uncle Red, and it stinks. But now Papa and Gama, they had an outhouse, and it had 2 holes, and he tore it down, just put one. And I said, why did you just put one hole? And he said, so the other one would have to wait.
Did y'all have plumbing? I mean, when did y'all get
The house we lived in, we had water, yeah,
Mhm.
but we didn't have a,
toilet?
uh-uh,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't guess anybody did they?
not really.